We have identified and agreed on a comprehensive slew of amendments to the Agricultural Produce Act and the Predial Larceny Prevention Act to directly place penalties for predial larceny under this principal legislation.
The Agriculture Minister outlined those new and stronger anti-predial larceny measures during his contribution to the budget debate yesterday. Stay tuned as we review more of those measures later in our show. Plus, we're still in Farmers Month, and so we'll highlight a few farmers who are making significant contribution to the agricultural sector. Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We start things off with the news of the day after this brief message.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, will run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, April 24. Government is getting tough on farm and livestock thieves this fiscal year, announcing a four-pronged strategy to deter or catch the culprits. In his budget presentation Wednesday, Agriculture Minister Roger Clark announced plans to tag cattle with a chip that will transmit valuable information about the animal to a national database and provide accessible data if stolen.
Under this program, every single head of cattle will be tagged and virtually issued with a passport. The passport will contain critical information about the animal and will be mandatory for movement of the animal.
Dedicated predial larceny units will also be set up in the Agriculture Ministry and the police force.
A key responsibility of the predial larceny coordinator in this ministry will be to work closely with the proposed operational unit in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, as well as our Veterinary Services Division, the Ministry of Health, and the Trade Board to coordinate and accelerate compliance efforts with special emphasis on end users.
The Agricultural Produce and Predial Larceny Prevention Acts will be amended to impose stiffer fines and simplify the procedures for licensing persons along the food chain. In the meantime, the Agriculture Minister has also announced plans to curtail illegal fishing and poaching in Jamaican waters. He said the ministry was partnering with the Jamaica Defence Force and the Marine Police to acquire 2 drones to help monitor and survey our marine space.
The drones will be fitted with cameras and will be deployed as necessary, and will have the capacity to transmit data back to base, which will assist in detecting and deterring poachers, as well as to assist with search and rescue at sea.
The revised Fisheries Bill should also be tabled in the House of Representatives this parliamentary year.
This bill will provide the framework for the proper regulation of the sector and efficient and effective management of our fisheries resources.
The tourism accommodation sector is expected to grow this year as the number of rooms that were out of service in 2013 reopened this year. Finance and Planning Minister Dr. Peter Phillips made the announcement as he opened the budget debate in Parliament last Thursday.
Azul Sense Authority, formerly Ponciana in the Grill, which was acquired by Charisma, will officially open next month, having completed a $1.1 billion Jamaica renovation program.
The Playa Hotel and Resort will open in the 4th quarter of 2014 as a 620-room Hyatt luxury all-inclusive resort, while Braco is being refurbished to open for the 2014-2015 winter season. They are in addition to the recently opened Royalton White Sands Hotel and the new Rio Hotel in Montego Bay. The illegal removal and sale of public metal infrastructure through the scrap metal trade has been significantly curtailed as a result of stringent measures put in place since January 2013. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Anthony Hilton, made the announcement recently.
There is a restriction on the export of irrigation pipes used in agriculture, as well as railway lines copper, I-beams, bridges, manhole covers, and signposts.
The minister was speaking at the official opening of a new centralized scrap metal facility at 383 Spanish Town Road in Kingston. He pointed out that under the new regime, a clear distinction was made between industrial and non-industrial scrap metal. That, he said, contributed to the success of the industry, which raked in approximately $20 million up to March 25. And finally, residents of Islington and surrounding communities in St. Mary no longer have to go far to access mail services, with the recent reopening of a post office in the area. The Islington Post Office was renovated and made disaster resilient at a cost of $5 million after being damaged by Hurricane Sandy in October 2012.
Work on the post office was facilitated through the Jamaica Emergency Employment Program (JEEP), which provided $2.5 million, and the counterpart funding was provided by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management (ODPEM), which provided the other $2.5 million.
The post office will be offering bill payment services along with its core service delivery.
To include zip mail, our local next day service, registered mail, parcel services, of course, distribution of PATH and pension benefits.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
Prevent overfishing. Give our marine resources room to replenish. Protect valuable marine species from extinction. Fish sanctuaries have been created to do just that. These designated protected areas for fish and other marine life help to breed, grow, and maintain a healthy population. No one is allowed in a fish sanctuary. It is illegal. Offenders will be arrested and their fishing equipment and catch confiscated. Allowing our marine and seafood population to grow means more catch later and food security for all.
Pradial larceny accounts for millions of dollars in losses to the agricultural sector, and government is determined to stem this level of theft and threat to the sector. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Roger Clark outlined the measures to do this during his budget presentation yesterday. A combination of technology and law enforcement vigilance is among the strategies going forward.
Pradial larceny continues to be a vexing issue. Given the interests of a wide range of stakeholders in this issue, we convened a stakeholders strategy workshop to look holistically at this issue. The attendance at the workshop was overwhelming, and the participation was excellent. On the basis of those consultations, we emerged with a four-pronged approach to the treatment of this matter. We have identified and agreed on a comprehensive slew of amendments to the Agricultural Produce Act and the Pradial Larceny Prevention Act to directly place penalties for pradial larceny under this principal legislation, to simplify the procedures for licensing all actors along the food chain, as well as to impose stiffer fines. The necessary drafting instructions are being finalized to be presented to Cabinet for approval of the issuing of drafting instructions. In terms of institutional support, I am happy to report that for the first time at last, the ministry now has a dedicated allocation in its budget to set up a pradial larceny unit. The necessary job descriptions have been formulated and dispatched to the Cabinet Office so that these posts can be established and filled with dispatch. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, the Commissioner of Police has advised that he is also putting in place a dedicated unit within the force to provide the concentrated focus required to deal with this matter. A key responsibility of the pradial larceny coordinator in this ministry will be to work closely with the proposed operational unit in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, as well as our Veterinary Services Division, the Ministry of Health, and the Trade Board to coordinate and accelerate compliance efforts with special emphasis on end users. The most potent weapon against Prader larceny is a foolproof traceability system, which has the additional benefit of facilitating and enhancing agriculture, trade, and food safety. It is in this regard that I am pleased to announce the rolling out of an exciting and game-changing program relating to the tagging of our entire cattle population. Under this program, every single head of cattle will be tagged and virtually issued with a passport. The passport will contain critical information about the animal and will be mandatory for movement of the animal. Concomitant with this is the development of a DNA database of all tagged animals. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding all the above initiatives to combat Prader larceny, we cannot emphasize enough that in the final analysis, farmers have to watch out for each other. We have to be our brother's keeper, as some of the activities of these Prader thieves could not have gone unnoticed, given the scale and magnitude of the operation. Given the economic impact of Prader larceny, we feel that it is important that we have a better understanding of the nature and scope of this phenomenon and how it impacts rural livelihoods. Against this background, the Economic Commission of Latin America and the Caribbean has agreed to fund a study on the socio-economic impact of Prader larceny in Jamaica. This work has already begun and will be concluded in June.
I wonder where Chantal is. You know me can't find him for wait. I know when they know. Watch me her name. Hey Chantal, where you watch? GIS.
No most you know say that the program are the best.
Them always the places where you have progress. I'm here to them there. Don't me now fi guess.
I must Manchester's finest.
Hey, hide your remote, not change the station. Cause we soon come back with more information from the school and the station where you number one, from the school and the program where you number one.
Calling all Jamaicans. Come share your views on how the government can improve greater access to drinking water. The Ministry of Water, Land Environment and Climate Change, MWLECC, wants to ensure that you get the opportunity to speak up on the draft Water Sector Policy and Implementation Plan. The Courtly Hotel is the place to be on April 30 at 6 p.m. The consultations are being staged by the Ministry in collaboration with Global Water Partnership Caribbean. 100% access is the target, so come, speak out and get heard. To find out more about the Water Sector Policy and Implementation Plan, visit the Ministry's website, mwh.gov.jm, or call 926-1590.
During the first quarter of this year, agriculture registered 18% growth, and with government intensifying its anti-Prader larceny measures, this is sure to increase as farmers will be able to earn more from their produce. That in turn will encourage farmers to produce more. Some are already pressing ahead in this direction. They are the farmers of the Amity Hall Agri-Parks, and JIS salutes them during Farmers Month.
Farmers contributing to government's strategic priorities, supporting job creation, economic growth, and putting fiscal prudence into action. Committed to growing the agricultural sector, the Ministry of Agriculture is putting some 8,000 acres of prime land under production. These have been divided across the island to form 9 agri-parks in St. Thomas, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Trelawney and Westmoreland. The aim is to get farmers or investors producing in high volumes using best practices, growing to supply both the local and export markets. 6 of these agri-parks are currently under operation, engaging more than 200 farmers who earned for themselves over $36 million in 2013. They represent just a fraction of the farmers of the agri-parks who will be leading the government's target of achieving revenues of $1 billion and producing enough to cut our high food import bill. We caught up with a few of the farmers at Amity Hall in St. Catherine to discuss their participation in the venture.
The variety of crops that I've been planting ranges from sweet potatoes, tomatoes, cucumbers, and of course I'm now doing papaya, and I plant a little plantain.
And I plant peppers here. I established about 3 acres. This pepper was planted out in September of last year, and started reaping in December. And then I expect to get at least 20,000 pounds per acre. It's 3 acres, and so far I've been reaping on a weekly basis in excess of 1,000 pounds.
I have 10 acres, which I have basically 7 acres on a production right now. I have almost 4 acres in potatoes. I have an acre in Scotch bonnet peppers, and I have some other small amounts like okras, pap chows, tomato, sweet pepper. In terms of the potato, basically stagger say 1 acre at each time, which so far has been look like a healing about 12,000 pounds per acre on an average so far. That I think is a good yield.
Through funding from the Inter-American Development Bank, the necessary infrastructure such as roads, irrigation, drainage, and other basic amenities were put in place to support production.
Well, one of the greatest benefits is for us to have a 5-acre piece of land with water right there, and adequate road. If it rains, we can still visit our land. It is relatively flat land. We have equipment at our avail, and that is a key element in the mix.
The farmers also received the technical support from Agro-Investment Corporation, AIC, in areas such as the timing of crop planting and available markets. AIC is the agent of the government with managerial responsibility for the agri-parks.
They also provide us general information about what is happening on the international arena, and that helps to kind of position us to be selective in the type of crops that we should embark on.
These men have a general love for farming and want to see the agri-park succeed.
I'm really a part-time farmer. I love farming, always involved in farming. It's the last 2-3 years that I've got the opportunity to be farming on a more extensive basis. And so far, I put in a lot, and I think I've basically just started to reap the benefits.
And I have a love for agriculture. I was trained in agriculture, and I need to make some money. So you have to do work on a timely basis. And I believe that the other farmers in the agri-park, if they make the effort and put their best foot forward, then it should be a success.
We can produce, if we have reasonable amount of these sort of parks across Jamaica, we can produce more than enough food for the country and to export as well.
The fact that the land is made available at, I would say, peppercorn rent, let's face it, let's be honest, that also is one benefit. And I believe that if we use the land and use it adequately, we can keep it for life. What we are doing here is just a demonstration. So I am anticipating that this stage of the agri-park is the introductory phase to prepare us to take on the mega projects that are down the road.
I see myself as an important part in it and hope to do much better than I'm doing right now.
These are the farmers who are changing the face of agriculture. Their level of dedication and cooperation will lead to more jobs being created and Jamaica achieving a level of food security and eventually achieving sustained economic growth.
it keeps our bodies working. Our food nutritious, our living and working spaces clean, and our lives comfortable. Water, the most precious resource necessary for the sustenance of life on our planet. Don't waste it. Let's conserve on this critical commodity. In the house, invest in storage containers and buckets. Take quick showers instead of long baths, and invest in water-efficient shower heads, toilets, and faucets. You may also want to consider one-pot meals and cooking methods that don't require much water. You could also wash fruits and vegetables in a bowl and reuse the water on your plants or grass. When cleaning dishes, fill both sinks and use one for washing and the other for rinsing. The leftover water can be used to wash off the concrete or asphalt in your yard. If you must wash your car at home, aim for once a fortnight and use a bucket to do the washing instead of running the hose. Don't delay. Start your water conservation practices today.
It's the budget season, and during this time you will hear of various plans and strategies for achieving economic growth for our country. As government plots the path for national growth, what of your individual development? Motivational speaker and author Alvin Day tells us of the drive within that propels us to take action that will lead to personal growth and development.
I understand something about humanity, and that is human beings do not grow when they're sitting on the beach in Hilsha having a fried fish and a Pepsi or a Coke or something. They don't grow at that point. When do we grow? It's good to have fun, it's good to relax, it's good to feel motivated about things. We grow when we are under pressure, when we feel the pain and the problem and the challenge. We grow when something breaks. Let me give you an example. How many of you have people working with you and for you who have great potential but they're not living up to it? Say aye. You know some people in your family who could do great things but they're not living up to that. Say aye. Imagine a woman who's working in a company and she's getting along just fine. You know, she does what she needs to do to get paid. And one day she comes to hear that there's going to be a resizing, a re-engineering, a downsizing, a restructure, you know, all those nice goodbye names. She's been cruising all her career, and suddenly she wakes up. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What if I get fired? What if I get laid off? How will I take care of my family? And in that moment, her brain comes alive. She begins to think, to scheme, to plan, to wonder. And what brings it out in her is the pressure and the pain of what's possible to happen in a moment. I came to shake you a little bit with something that says you cannot get by in your life and get to that next level if you're just comfortable with things, if you acquiesce to the status quo, if you capitulate to the common opinion of the people in the street. You will never grow. You might have an okay life and you might be happier than if you choose to fly. Because flight comes with some pain itself.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, more than a supper.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the idling. You think I saw? We reach out the edging. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can.
Me have to buy one pair of shoes, you know. Oh yes, I may need groceries too. Plus some other things. Make a check if me have enough can buy them. If not, me might have to take off something off of the list. Oh no, here how me a budget out for me money to see if it can stretch. How about you? How you stretch your dollar?
How me stretch my dollar? Like me used to buy all 2 pair of shoes and I wear them. Buy one and make it serve me still, you know. Or the clothes thing and so, you don't know. you have to wear your clothes them on a circle thing, like, you know. Like you wear that one at today and tomorrow you wear it back on the next 2 days, you wear it back on them because you have to save the money in the bank no matter how tight it be still, you know.
Alright, I'm supposed to have a $5,000. I pay my tithes out of that, I buy my food and buy the necessary thing. Well, I don't have any children heading to school. So, I stretch it, medication, buy it for what I pay. You just have to just budget yourself.
So just go to the supermarket, pick up a little, where you know so you can serve the house. Yeah, you're not going to pick up no whole heap and pretend like you have it when you don't have it.
Don't spend it on things that are unnecessary, as in spend on things that are needed or necessary to your use. Like for example, you had to test, buy pens, ruler or something like that. Don't waste your time and buy something else. You see? Yeah.
It is very, very difficult, but I have to make sure that the basic needs are met and anything else comes after.
Basically, I save what I have to save out of it and then buy things that are needed and not things that are not necessary.
I don't spend money foolishly. Yeah, I'm minimizing areas where I have to minimize. So like going to parties and stuff, I cut back on that.
Businessmen and women, members of the MSMEs, no longer do you have to visit several government agencies to register a company or business name. Visit the COJ. They are willing and prepared to assist you in filling out the new business registration form, more commonly known as the super form.
The overwhelming response from the majority of our customers is, why did this take so long to happen? There are persons who actually waited until January 2nd to come here to do their business because they wanted to avoid going to multiple government departments.
Click on ocrjamaica.com for more details.
I hope you found our program very informative today. Tell us what you think via Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or a tweet at JIS News. Until tomorrow when we bring you another special episode of Jamaica Magazine, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.